As we move on to cricket now, the Proteas will begin their aim at the ICC Champions Trophy tomorrow against Afghanistan. South Africa won the inaugural event in 1998, but have not been able to break through to the finals of a World Cup until the T20 version last year. Cricket South Africa have set victory in the home tournament as the target in the 50-over World Cup. Joining us now to speak all things cricket is Enoch Nkwe, who is Cricket South Africa's Director of Cricket. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to be chatting to you once again. What is the word from the coach and the captain as they head into the ICC Champions Trophy?
First of all, good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation. No, the word is very, very simple. I mean, they both, they want this as much as us at Cricket South Africa, us South Africans, everyone behind us, they want to make us all proud. So the word is there to actually compete and win.
That is the goal, but the bigger goal is, of course, the 50-over World Cup in 2027. This was a vision that you set down when you actually took the seat. Do you want to tell us how far you are from that and where you feel you are in that vision?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when we all came together, we needed to unpack quite a few things, but make sure that also in that process we set our vision very, very clear, to our domestic, our high performance and everybody else that has been involved in this process. And I mean, we're only halfway. We're halfway through, and we do understand that a lot has actually happened, in terms of our journey to 2027. I mean, the team, we got to take off, we got to take our heads off to the team in terms of the achievements so far. Going from the women's team to the men's team with the T20 finals last year. So we feel we're on track, and this year is it's a massive year for us. The reason I say that is, I mean, if you look at this year, we've got 4 major tournaments, thanks to obviously the test team qualifying for the WTC final. So we got 4 major, both men and women, and this is basically the mirror of 2027, and ultimately obviously finishing with the Cricket World Cup in 2027. So this year it's an indication, will give us an indication in terms of where we are as a system, where we are as national teams. What more do we need to actually do, in order for us to be even better prepared for 2027? Because the reason I say that, we've got an opportunity now, all right, to bring the trophy home. We have an opportunity in June in the World Test Championship, finishing off the year on the women's side with the Cricket World Cup. But again, when we look at it in the men's side, when we would like to be in a position where at least we have a trophy. But if we don't, we need to review the year. And say, okay, what more, where are the missing gaps? And then how do we actually plug it in? And we'll still have enough time. So we are zoning in a lot deeper and deeper. And we're hoping that we'll be even in a stronger position by end of this year.
The fact that the team have made the WTC final, much to the surprise of many, does this make more of a case for South Africa to be playing more regular test cricket against the bigger nations?
Yeah, look, it's always been our intention, our plan. Yes, in terms of this cycle, the FTP obviously was confirmed and announced, but in saying that, as part of our Vision 2027, we are using our SAA content through high performance structures, to ensure that we continue to close the gaps with our next tier of players to make sure that they're ready for international cricket. And whenever there's going to be an opportunity, an open window, we're still searching for that, but wherever there's going to be an opportunity for us to have our white ball team playing and our test team can play at the same time, I mean, we'll grab that opportunity. But it is work in progress. And I mean, it's a great thing. It's a great achievement that our test team were able to, put it all together and really zone in and stay focused in achieving this goal. And obviously we want one more step to go. But adding to that, we also behind the scenes working on the next cycle, to make sure that, there's more test cricket. I mean, we love test cricket. It is the pinnacle of this game, and every player wants to play test cricket, so we understand the impact, the significance of the format. And we'll, from a Cricket South Africa point of view, we'll continue to work behind the scenes to try and find more content when it comes to test cricket.
If I think back 4 years ago when cricket was in the very difficult space that it was, and I think to where we are now, where we've had our women's team making 2 T20 World Cup finals, our men making a historic T20 World Cup final, our young ladies also making the T20 World Cup final. It hasn't all been great. There's been great performances on the field of play. There's been a couple of difficult challenges, but in spite of that, you guys have managed to keep the team focused. What has gone right to be able to have those kinds of performances? And I leave out of that long list the fact that the men have made the WTC final, which is massive.
No, absolutely. Look, we needed to come together as an organization and face the realities, and also, look back in terms of what the organization has gone through, what cricket has gone through in our system, and be honest about it and unpack it, and then define the way forward in terms of what we need to do over the next 2 to 5 years. Because we do have a 5-year strategy in place, but it's something that we review obviously on an annual basis. And we needed to make sure that we prioritize the teams as well. Also we listened to the voices of players, and which we did. We had a couple of workshops to unpack a few things. And for me, the greatest thing, to happen was the buy-in from players, despite of everything that has happened before. The buy-in from players, the buy-in from coaches to say, okay, we have an opportunity to actually do something great in our system, from under 19 right through to the top, both men and women. And just the manner of how the teams have actually responded has been fantastic. And they do understand that we've sort of, gone through that barrier of semi-finals and being able to actually build a new DNA and belief. And that is something that, maybe to some degree, it was sort of not there. But now there is a strong belief that we can actually do it. And that is something that we're going to keep driving with, obviously, our playing philosophy, both men and women. So yeah, it's, we look back over the last 2.5 years, it's been great. We've managed to go through some tough hurdles, but now we got to look at ourselves and say, okay, what more do we need to do? What is that 1% or 5% that we need to get right to ensure that we get it over the line, both men and women?
Where do you think that 2% or that 5% lies for our men's team to be able to actually lift the 50-over World Cup on home soil?
Well, the fact that we did find ourselves in that situation, and I think I honestly believe that now the players individually, but also the team and the system, really believe that we can actually get it over the line. So the learnings of the last T20 World Cup are going to be key, that we push ourselves to that point again. And what we have learned from the previous World Cup, we make sure that we actually get it right this time around. So in terms of the process of getting to that point, we've taken the ownership, if I may put it that way, of that process. So we need to make sure that we go through the same processes, but when we get ourselves to that point, we grab it with both hands and get it over the line.
Thank you very much for coming in studio. All the best of luck to the team. They get their ICC Champions Trophy campaign underway. South Africa did win the inaugural edition of the tournament back in 1998, but they're hoping that a victory in Pakistan and the UAE will go a long way into their ultimate goal, which is lifting the World Cup in 2027. Do stay with News at Prime. We continue with your headlines after this.